Hey guys, Sean here with my review of The Bourne Legacy. So, this is a 2012 American spy thriller film directed by Tony Gilroy, who was the guy who wrote the last three movies. It's the fourth in the franchises in a series of films adapted from novels originated by Robert Ludlum and were continued by Eric Van Lustbander. Although this film has the same name as Van Lustbander's first novel, Bourne Legacy, the actual screenplay bears little resemblance to the novel. Unlike the novel, which featured Jason Bourne as the principal character, this film centers on Black Ops agent Aaron Cross, played by Jeremy Renner, an original character. In addition to Renner, the film also stars Rachel Weisz and Edward Norton. Okay, let me just... Basically, this movie is all kinds of boring, really. And I mean that literally. Okay. This movie primarily takes place during the events of Bourne Ultimatum. And that's just a lazy excuse to cover up why Damon did not want to return. Because after the first three movies, Damon felt that he had done everything that they could do with the Bourne character, and so he and Paul Greengrass were like, we don't want to come back. We've done everything we could with this character, so making another movie would just basically be the Bourne redundancy. Yet they're making it one around this month. God, I hope it's good. But anyway, and plus, Ultimatum was originally supposed to be the last movie, but that money, people want that. The studios want the money, so they wanted to make another movie. Damon and Greengrass didn't want to come back, so they got the writer of the first three movies to write and direct this new one. And I think he does a good job with the movie, but the movie itself, as itself, is boring. And I don't blame any of the actors. I don't blame Renner, because I think Renner does a good job. Weisz and Norton, they're fine. But the difference between this movie and the last three was Damon's character was more interesting because we were following him along as he was learning more about his past. This movie is basically just Renner running around trying to find his medicine so he doesn't collapse and possibly die. That's it. It's not at all interesting, really. I mean, the only interesting bits are where they bring up that Jason Bourne's in Manhattan and etc. I mean, there's all these various pictures of Damon shown around the movie. They mention him a lot because, again, this thing was around Ultimatum, which is why Damon's not in the movie, because he's off doing his own thing in Ultimatum. And the short version is this movie's very lazy. Honestly, that's the only reason this movie's set during Ultimatum, was just to explain Damon's absence. They got very lazy with this movie, I think. Although I will give them credit for not simply just recasting Jason Bourne. They came up with a new character instead of just simply recasting the role. So I give them credit for that one. But, all in all, okay, basically the plot of this movie is that due to what Jason Bourne did in the last movie, where he revealed all the government secrets about Treadstone and Blackbriar, and apparently there's also this other program called Outcome, which Renner's character is a part of. Basically, the government's going around killing all the operatives and everybody associated with these programs, obviously to try and cover themselves up, which I kind of find that weird how you're trying to cover yourself up when you've already been fucking exposed. There's no time to cover up. You've been exposed. But, fuck it, we need a movie. So, Renner somehow survives, and he and Weisz are basically on the run from the government while they're trying to go get Renner his medication so he doesn't collapse. Because apparently Outcome, I think, is Treadstone without the inconsistencies. Or maybe that's Blackbriar, I don't... all the government jargon is boring. Not trying to try and pile on science jargon, and it makes it even more boring and confusing, may I add. This movie is just boring, especially in the first 45 minutes where nothing happens except Renner trying to survive out in the snowy woods and apparently fighting a wolf. Okay. And then the rest of the movie is just completely boring as hell. You know, like I said, Renner's trying to get his medicine so he doesn't collapse and die. You got Edward Norton as some government official trying to kill him, who is apparently linked to Renner's past. Yeah, I just don't really like this movie. And in like 40 minutes in, we see a flashback of Renner and Norton apparently working alongside each other during a war. I saw that scene, I was like, okay, if I'm going to see these two actors in a 2012 released movie, I'd rather have been in Avengers. I mean, I get it, Norton apparently didn't want to come back, or he was fired from Avengers, or whatever. I get it, I read up on that debacle. But what I'm saying is, if I'm going to see Norton and Renner in a movie together, I'd rather have been in Avengers. I'm being serious. I'd rather have been Avengers, considering this movie's so boring, literally. I mean, that's all I have to say about this movie, it's boring. So, I'm hoping with the new one, with Jason Bourne, that's apparently what they're calling it for some reason, that I hope it's good, I hope it redeems this franchise, because this franchise does need a shot in the arm and needs its redemption, because Bourne Legacy just tossed it down in the trash. So yeah, they got Matt Damon coming back, Paul Greengrass as director. They're even bringing back Julia Stiles, which is awesome that they're going to bring them three back. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new movie, hoping it's good, hoping it's the redemption this franchise needs. So yeah. And if you're asking if you're wondering why I'm recording this in the dark, it's basically because the light bulb from my bedroom burnt out. So yeah, that's why this is in the dark. So I'll catch you guys later, and see you next time.